Hi, my name is Hosto. I'm an insurance agent here in Madison County in Illinois. And we're here today. We're doing a series of videos for our agency, for our customers to view, and anybody else that wants to pick up some tips. And what we're doing today is we're doing some car care tips. And you can see my car, if you want to take a look at it. This is a 1999 Chrysler 300 with very close to 300,000 miles on it. I've owned it for about 7 years. And I frankly don't do anything different to this car than anybody else does. I've got about 5 or 6 tips I'm going to share with you today. And if you do them, you'll save time, and your car can look like this more often. You can drive it around on the weekends and wherever you're going and have it standing tall, you know, like this car, so to speak. So the 6 tips I'm going to give you is I'm up here at the local coin-operated laundromat today, and I'm going to suggest that you come up here and do it, and you'll save time and money versus doing it in your driveway. By the time you drag out your garden hose, drain it out, put it away, and make a big old mess, you can do it quicker by doing it this way. You'll spend about $4.50 in quarters. And here's the trick to it. Here's the first tip I'm going to give you. Bring your own bucket along. Just get a bucket like this at the local hardware store. Put straight hot water in it out of your tap. Put some car wash soap in it. I'll show you what I use later in our second video. But you can just use the soap from underneath the sink that you use or your wife uses to wash dishes. So bring that with you. I've got my quarters up here. I've got them laid in 2 stacks. I got my first $1.50 I'm going to put in. I got the rest of them. You use this high pressure wash and it'll allow you to do your engine. And then the third tip I'm going to give you is I'm going to go to these floor mats. If you look at them, they're not the fanciest thing in the world and they're real dirty. And I don't get the carpeted mats. One, because the ones you buy in the stores today are so cheap that they wear out quickly. I went to this, more of a solid rubber style mat. I paid about 32 bucks for these at one of the local auto parts places. But you can hit them and wash them off real quick, and then they don't stay wet and mildew up the inside of your car. The next tip I'm going to give you is at the car wash, they never ever hit like inside your wheel well lip. So when you take your sponge and you go over it, hit the wheel well good. And then when you're doing your hose, spray out in here, inside this wheel well real good. And I'll show you in our next video why that's important. And then probably the most important tip of all, and they never do this, you'll have to go to a fairly high-end car wash to get this done, and you'll spend 20 plus bucks on a car wash. But if you come up here, wrong side of the car, you come over here, and with your sponge, and I'll show you this in a second, you just take your sponge and you kind of hit your door jambs. So let me get started. Get your sponge like this and you just wring it out. You don't want to stop the inside of your car and get it completely covered with water. You just take your sponge and you just kind of hold it right there like that, and you just hit your jams. And you just get in that crease and you hit your jam and close the back side of this door, and you just hit the back side of that door like that, and you just shut it. And when you're rinsing off your car, that'll come clean. You didn't get anything in on your seats. You didn't get it in on your briefcase or your kid's ball glove or whatever you happen to have in your back seat. It's that easy. Now, just because it's going to be too noisy, what I would normally do at this point is I would take a $1.50 in quarters, I'd pump them in there, and I would put it on wash, hot soap and wash. And then I would go ahead and I would hose the whole car down. I'd start up here in the front. I would completely hose off the engine with the hot soapy water. Then I would close my hood so that it doesn't fall on you. And then go ahead and spray the entire car down for the $1.50. When that shuts off, put your hose away. Then you go ahead and you take your bucket and your sponge, and you just take your time and you wash your car. Another advantage to being inside here, you're not out in the hot sun where the hot sun's baking your soap onto it. So then when you're all done with that, you go ahead and you pump about $3 more worth of quarters in there, and then you come up to these mats and you spray them off first with your clear water. Then you flip it to wax, and then you just go ahead for about 2 minutes maybe, and you go ahead and rinse your car off. You don't have to rinse it off with the water. You can go straight to wax. You can rinse it off with wax, you'll still have about 2.5 to 3 minutes of time. You put it on spot-free rinse. You hit your car with a spot-free rinse, and you're done. You're done. And at that point, you need to drive it and dry it. Go drive it somewhere. If you've got a moment, get it out on the highway, get it up to 40, 45. It'll take all the wind. The wind will pull the water out of your door handles like this. It'll pull water out of your mirrors and out of the bottoms of your doors. The gravity, centrifugal force will pull that out for you. And then you just stop at a grocery store somewhere, if you will, or a parking lot, a Walmart, a bank, doesn't matter. And that's where we're going to meet next in our next video. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a few tips right there to continue to have your car standing tall.